Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream on the channel. Do let me know if you can hear me. As usual, I hear audio playing in the background, so as usual, make sure everything is right. Do let me know if anything needs to be adjusted. As you can see, some new graphics. Do let me know what you think. Nothing special, but I said I'd spend some time to make things look a bit cleaner. I hope we're all well after, for myself, a great start to game week 1. I see a lot of you putting in how you got on in the game week 1. Good to see some poor starts, but don't be discouraged. It's still early days. Good to see so many in chat. We got FPL NX, T-Man, Live Sneakers, Renatus, Derek, Armin. Good evening. I hope we're all well. We've been off to a flying start. Let me go quickly show you how we got on last week. So we scored 73 points, absolutely massive, and a game week rank of 600,000, which is an unbelievable start. One of my best so far in all of my time playing. We got Liam in chat, Connor. We'll get on to as many of your questions as possible. First of all, can you see what has changed in our graphics? Can you spot the difference? It's very, very subtle. I don't think you'll be able. But yeah, chat displays a bit off. Oh fuck, is it on stream? I actually can't see. Oh, I do see it now. Hold on guys, I'll get that fixed. By the way, do someone hit the subscribe button. I'm after adding a few things. Someone just test it out for me. I see most people in here, if you're in here, you're subscribed, but let me see something and hit that subscribe button for me. Please, if you could, if you're not already subscribed. Looks like chat is busted. I'm gonna get it fixed, I promise. Bear with me. I'm gonna use the old overlay, you know that. 2 seconds guys, I get this sorted. Chat is off, but chat is going to have to be off for a second because I need to see if what I added works so far. Davis West, good to see you. Channel member. Is the clock beside the timer now? The clock is indeed beside the timer. And saying that, I need to update the timer. Let's change that to an hour 19, starting now. Okay, we're locked in. It ain't broke, don't fix it. I agree. The old one was clean, but a few updates needed to be added for myself, because new season, I wanted to change a few things. Hello David in chat, I see you. Let me pull up my team real quick and then I think we're good to go. But I need someone to hit the subscribe button because that's that's the only thing I spent a lot of time on. And you'll be familiar if you're already or have been subscribed to the channel. Okay, so, like I said, we've had a great game week, and it's good to see so many in chat already. Look, I know a lot of people have not had a few great starts. I'm seeing a lot of transfers in game week 1, a lot of free hits and wildcards even on some people's end. For me, I can understand a transfer. I don't think there's anything wrong with a transfer. Look, you're never gonna have. I hit sub on a second account and nothing happened. There you go, Jonathan. I hope you like it. So it's back. No, like I was saying though, you know, you're never gonna make the perfect team in game week 1. You might get a start wrong, or there might be more favorable players. And looks like David West has become another month of a cup of chai. Welcome David West back to the channel members group chat. You never got kicked out, but you're still here. Welcome back to the family and good to have you. Do hit the join button if you want to become a member. Like I said, you can become a channel member and be included on WhatsApp. Again, it's just a way to support me. I don't really want your money. I just it's just a good way to, I mean, get a bit closer with the creator, I suppose. So thank you, Davis. Appreciate you. And you've been around a long time. Noah Peter says, is Rutter worth a transfer out? So that was one of my biggest decisions going into this game week. I'm sure like many of ye. Rutter to Reinders, it was really easy to do at 5.5. I thought it out and decided, you know what? Rutter didn't have the best game, let's be honest. I don't even think you need to watch the game to be able to say that. Everyone was slating him. And he was poor. But I do know Fabian Hertzler really fancies Rutter. 70 minutes in the last game, not ideal. But again, what did we expect? I don't think we expected much more. The only disappointment, I would say, is the penalties. O'Reilly coming in and taking penalties over Rutter. No Welbeck start, and it's not to say that he can't play with Welbeck, but I mean, for me, I had to hold on to him for another week or two at least, and I'd like to see it play out with Reinders. I think Reinders is a great pick, but I don't think he's going to, score every weekend. And if he is scoring every weekend, I can go from a Jorginho Rutter easily down to a Reinders, because again, Jorginho is 6 million. So yeah, I hope the chat is a small bit better, even though it is a bit busted. Sorry, I'm just adjusting stuff. By the way, we're almost on 8k subscribers. Another milestone for FPL Shy. Good to see our channel members. Maximilian Reuter in here. He says, mate, can you check my squad and help with the bench? I'll do that in just a second. I kind of want to run through my team first. So yeah, do get us to the 8,000 subscribers this stream. We're so close. And hit the buttons while you're there so we can get more people in and watching. Are you keeping the cap and Palmer? Okay, let me run through the team. So on goal. Okay, we need to address Eze really quick. And looks like we got a super chat. Leave this play out. Oh no, another Cup of Chai member. Anish for 12 months. A whole year for Anish. Welcome. Hey Chai, on for hit. Going with double Arsenal defence and Saka. With Saka as captain as well. Cheers. That's really bold. I do love double Arsenal defence for this week. I mean, I think the only case for it to be bad is if he somehow subs him, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So double Arsenal defence, Anish looking really good. Saka is captain. If I had Saka, he'd be my captain this week, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And if I had Gyökeres, he'd also be my captain. If I had Saka and Gyökeres, it would be Saka. Probably because I do expect more minutes for Saka. Mr. Feder really wants me to address Eze. So Eze, if Spurs could have signed one player this whole window, it would have been Eze for me. And I've been talking about how much I wanted Eze. And it all fell down on top of me. Very, very disappointing. But you know what? It wasn't supposed to be. Eze doesn't probably like European trophies. No, I do think very disappointed. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I would have taken him in a heartbeat, no doubt. But that's not to say that we won't sign someone who will come in and do some bits. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the passing ability of that role in Frank's system, and maybe we might sign someone who might fill that gap for us a bit better. Eze is more of a ball carrier. Yeah, trying to come up with excuses why we didn't get him, but we only want players who want to play for us at the end of the day. Kudus wanted us. He didn't want anyone else, even though he's linked, so no biggie. He knows Spurs won't win anything for the next 60 years, is that right? Oh, brilliant. But yeah, let's move on from Eze and actually get to my team. So on goal, we've got Robert Sanchez. For me, there's a lot of... I'm watching on the airplane. Tell me where you're going. A lot of people talking about Sanchez and Dubravka and also Esteve. For me, I've got Dubravka and Esteve currently on the bench. Now, I wanted to make this decision on stream. Nothing solidified, but where I'm currently sat. I think I want to start Sanchez for sure versus West Ham. I will not be playing Dubravka. It really comes down on Pedro Porro, Esteve and Williams. My head is currently on Pedro Porro. Now the reason is, as you know, I do the Sunday stream with Gianni Batici on Fancy Football Scout. Why do I support Spurs? I'll get to that in just a second. And he talked me into playing Porro for potential DEFCON, which is unlikely. But now that I look at it, having Erling Haaland up top, I don't think he's not going to score. I don't think he can explode against Spurs because we're going to play a 5 at the back. And it's a big reason why I'm not captaining Erling Haaland. Frank is very, very tactical. He's very driven by analytics. We've seen how he plays against the big six. He's not naive, and it's a way to City. I can see him setting up 11, 10 men behind the ball. And I'm not saying Haaland can't score a tap-in. It's actually quite likely with the wingers making a lot of space for and chances for him, I imagine. But with Kevin Danso in, Romero fit, Van de Ven fit, it throws me off Haaland captain. Do I think he can score? Absolutely. The markets expect him to get the most goals this weekend. But yeah, I do have a decision in Porro and Esteve. So that's not locked in. But Sanchez, locked in for me. I trust in the Chelsea defence, personally. West Ham aren't great. Next we'll move on to Crystal Palace. Murillo and Nico Williams. A bit of controversy about Nuno Espirito Santos. With Marinkas, the chairman or CEO or whatever you want to call him. Absolute wanker, whatever he is. But yeah, Murillo and Williams, great options at the back for me. Palace and Forest, always a cagey game. Of course, Palace also playing midweek. You'd fancy Forest, and away at Palace, it's going to be a tough game for Forest, no doubt, but hopefully, because it's going to be a bit of a tougher game, Murillo can pick up some DEFCON. And that's what I'm kind of banking on. We've got our first super chat, wait for this.
Let's spice it up. Spin the wheel. Whoever it lands on, Haaland, Watkins, or Palmer, will be my captain. If he hauls, I'll double the money next stream.
Oh, okay. That is brilliant, Cactus Jack. You're bringing life to the stream. Okay, so thank you, Cactus Jack, for the £5 donation. He says, for anyone that missed that, and that is the new addition to the stream, I hope you like it. Let's spice it up. Spin the wheel. Whoever it lands on, Haaland, Watkins, or Palmer will be my captain. If he holds, I'll double the money next stream. Only need to ask me once, Cactus Jack. That is brilliant. Too quiet, bro. Okay, I'll try to turn it up. Is it just too quiet for Adam? Let me know. Or is it somewhat hearable? I tried to be quiet. As you can see, there's a spin the wheel. I need to put in the names. Okay, this is the spin the wheel for Cactus Jack. Volume 2 low. Okay, I'll get that sorted. Okay, so on his wheel, Haaland, Watkins, Palmer. Oh, balls. Haaland, Watkins, Palmer. My captain if he holds. Double the money next stream. Okay, I don't want you to double the money next stream. What I want you to do is do it again next week, but double the money. And then if it lands on it again, you have to double it. You know what I mean? Too quiet. Now raise the volume. I could hear it, but turning up would help. Include Salah as well. Okay, so this is for Cactus Jack. We could do another one where we include Salah after. And we might do a poll as well. But let's spin the wheel for our man who's after donating £5. This is for you, Cactus Jack. Define haul. Okay, yeah, haul. Let's say 1 or 2 returns. A haul is 2 returns. 1 return wouldn't classify as a haul, in my opinion. A return and bonus points, that will be a haul. Alright. Oh, that edge, so close to the edge. There you go, Cactus Jack. Very good. And it's the same captain as myself. So brilliant. I'll be rooting for him twice as much now. Okay, so I'm going to actually go and increase the volume. If anyone wants to donate, you don't have to again. It's just a fun way to get you guys involved in the stream. But yeah, a great start to the season. And next we'll move on to the midfield, which is Gakpo. Game week 1, I spoke about Cody Gakpo. And he's been great. And it looks like Isaac and Newcastle is slowing down. So I'm absolutely buzzing to be owning them. And if you're wondering why I'm just looking to my side here, I'm just trying to up the volume on that overlay. Um, but yeah, like he's been great for Liverpool for the minutes he's had, in my opinion. Text to speech settings, 50%. Okay, I hope that's better. And if you want to test it, by all means, be my guest. No, I'm joking. You don't need to. Same here, Palmer, my captain. Okay, sweet. So I hope that answered your question, Cactus Jack, and that's everything you wanted. I could hear it, but a bit up would help. Maz, Paro, or Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Paro for me. Would you play Paro or Diouf? Paro all day. What is the best free hit team? Can you do it? We'll also do a free hit team on stream. Let's do that. So the alert box is fixed. Stream is gone out. Chat is somewhat okay. The subscribe button, someone test it for me again. But we're looking good. And Cody Gakpo, I felt like he's really underestimated at the start of the season. I feel like a handful of people went with him. And I feel like because of that, I'm very happy to own him. I feel like if he was way more owned, I'd be less inclined to go with him. A lot of people went with Verts, but for 1 million less, you have Gakpo, who has the minutes as well. Didn't really get subbed off. So, hopefully, Isaac doesn't come in too soon. I still feel like Isaac will get a move, one way or another. I feel like if another bid came in, it'd be very hard for Newcastle to say no. Yeah, just moving on from Gakpo, because I don't feel like there's too much discussion. Again, was decent against Bournemouth. The goal he took really well. This game against Newcastle, am I expecting too much? No. Is he going to be involved and in dangerous areas? Absolutely yes. So, absolutely no issue to play him against Newcastle. And I feel like hedging your bets with the likes of a Gakpo when the fixtures are hard for Liverpool, make him a better pick rather than going with the expensive guys. So, I'm happy with Gakpo personally. Next we'll move on to Mohamed Kudus, another one who hit the ground running in game week 1 with 2 assists and some bonus points. Great performance and great Premier League debut. I was really happy with him as a fan. Goes into this game versus City playing right forward, I imagine. And if you could choose one Spurs player to have against City, it would be Kudus, by virtue of how we're going to play against him. Going to set up really deep, try hit him on a counter. Long ball over the top from Paro to Kudus. I can see it already. Very wishful. But yeah, Kudus has been great. I wouldn't recommend buying him just yet. I'd like to see a bit more. I understand if you're skeptical. But over the run of games, like if you look at his fixtures, I mean, they're absolutely brilliant. If I go to FPL.team, because this FPL website is really good, as you know. Quickly. And I go to the fixture ticker. Spurs' fixtures are great. Now, it would have been even better if we had Eze. Oh, there you go, Draco. Thank you for subscribing. Again, we're almost on the cusp of 8,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get there this stream. We're very close. But like I was saying, Spurs, from an attack and fixture point of view, City, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds, Villa, Everton. You'd fancy us to get some goals, surely. So if there's ever a time to own a Kudus, I'm thinking this now. And he started the season very well, so delighted to own him. What do you think about bench boost this week? I mean, I like it if Marquis isn't the 4 option. I think if you have 4 playing players and 2 of them are Dubravka and Esteve, I don't mind it. Double Burnley defence. So the optimal thing to do about playing a Spurs player or the Burnley guys is to play the Burnley guys. Burnley have 28% more chance of a clean sheet than Spurs do. But I can't see myself playing Dubravka at all. Esteve, sure. Good to see you, Danny B. Yocha, I've subbed Pedro Porro on for Fulkrug. What do you think? No, I think I'd just play the attacker personally. Spacine, good to see you. I reckon we'll be 3 goals minimum in the Spurs game, City. Absolutely, I think so too. It's always a good game. Anyway, moving on from Mohamed Kudus. And thank you for subscribing. Azmeen? Izan Azmeen. We're so close. I'm hoping we get there. 120 in here. Do hit the like button while you're there and subscribe. But yeah, next is Bruno Fernandes, who I actually think got unfair slander in this first game week on Twitter. Again, I'm heavily involved in Twitter. I'm always scrolling, even though I mightn't tweet so much, but I'm always lurking. Personally, from an FPL point of view, 9 million, I think it's just about fair. Again, I don't think anyone who owned Bruno expected too much in this Arsenal game. The most we were hoping for was DEFCON. Anything else would have been a bonus. One DEFCON away from DEFCON. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. So he would have got 4 points. Again, United only conceding 1 goal from a set piece. So if he got DEFCON on a clean sheet, it would have been 5 points. Created 5 chances. I mean, surely you can't complain too much with that. And he's just meant to be one of those players who can tick along nicely. When a good fixture comes about, potentially captain him. Again, we're not expecting, massive points like maybe a Watkins will give us when he has a good fixture on. Even in hard fixtures, Bruno can do it, and that's why I think I really like him. Lurkers, hit the like button. Thank you, Danny B. Appreciate it. HI, would you captain Haaland over Saka? No, if I had Saka, I'd captain him. HI, nice to see you for the second season. My question is Isaac, Frimpong, Marmouche for Watkins, Saka, Porro, or 2, Haaland, Reinders, Livramento. Is it free hit? If it's free hit, I would go Haaland, Reinders, Livramento. And regardless, I actually think I'd go Haaland, Reinders, Livramento. Is Mbeumo or Kuna more valuable? Value, no, because those guys are never going to get DEFCON. I think it's close, right? I think if United have better fixtures, I think you're more likely to captain a Kuna or Mbeumo. Thank you for subscribing, HUFC 1997. Appreciate it. If you know what I mean. So the way I look at it is, if they play at Burnley or Sunderland, you want the direct guys who are going to get direct points, like from open play, like Kuna or Mbeumo. If it's over a spell of a 5-block fixture and you're considering DEFCON and bonus points, and it's not a one-off game, I think you prefer Bruno. Again, time will tell. I could be very wrong, but that's just where I'm thinking. So looking at this Fulham game for United, you'd like to think United are going to win. Good start to the season. I thought they were really impressive. Outdone Arsenal on XG, who were only done on XG once last year, which is good to know. So I thought they played well. It's been a while since we've seen United do something decent. Again, they didn't do enough to get a result out of the game, which we know United can always do. But again, I don't think we were expecting too much. So happy to own Bruno Fernandes. The only issue in the team for me, Jorginho Rutter. And I don't necessarily think he is an issue just yet. I think he's potentially one. And a potential transfer waiting to happen. Who I'd be likely to go to. I mean, Reinders is the obvious one, but I'd have to see how it is against Tottenham. It'd be almost impossible not to go to him if he returns versus Tottenham. Who to start, Dorgu or Pedro Porro? I'd start Dorgu. Diouf or Porro? I'd go Porro. Tosa and Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres, I don't really buy into the idea that his minutes are better with Kai Havertz. I think when Gyökeres is fit and up to speed, I think he'll be playing 90 regardless of who's around. I mean, you'd expect that. Personally. So the Havertz thing isn't too much of a big deal for me. And the big news is, of course, he's on penalties now. Which is, of course, great. I think he is a great option. With penalties, you'd expect a minimum 15 goals this season. Minimum. Can you explain Palmer captain? Yeah, so he's the last midfielder, and we'll get into it now. So there's a big debate on Palmer captaincy. Let me pull up my new clean graphic, even though it's not that clean because it pops up in the middle of the screen, but still. I think it's close. I don't think there is a standout. Cole Palmer, for me, is the pick out my own bunch. I mean, I have the likes of Haaland and Watkins. They're my only other two options. Again, I don't have Salah. it comes down to the five at the back versus City that Spurs are going to play. We've seen it in the Carabao Cup final when we had Jose Mourinho. And I think it's going to be something very similar, except I don't think we'll be as poor as that day. That day we were really poor because Mourinho didn't actually manage that game. It was Mason. But yeah, I think that's enough to justify not going Haaland captain. Troy, you're on mute, am I? Am I on mute? I think I'm okay. It looks okay to me. The mic is playing up. Uh-oh. Maybe just a bit of lag. Let me know if it's okay now. What do you think about Watkins captain? Yeah, so Watkins I don't mind. Mike is fine for me, cheers. Maybe it was just a bit of internet issues. Yeah, for me, Watkins is definitely good. And Brentford are really poor. They have been really poor in that first game. And they got lucky to score, to be honest. Cheers, cheers everyone. Appreciate it. Yeah, very fortunate for me in that game to get a goal versus Forest to wipe out my double clean sheet. Absolutely heartbroken when that happened. Thiago on penalties, of course. Yeah, no, Watkins is a long-term hold for me. I think even if he does blank in this game, it's not too much of a big deal for me. Still some decent fixtures. And again, Newcastle, you wouldn't expect a big result from Watkins in that game. So not overly disappointed. Like a lot of the players in that first week where we got 73 points did the business for me. So for me, I wouldn't try sell anyone captaincy this week. And the reason for that is it's that close that I can't justify selling anyone to you. It's just preference. And for me, it's Palmer because West Ham are poor. Chelsea were poor in that first game, but I feel like Palmer has a lot to show regardless of the no goals since January. Or whatever you want to say about it. If you had Evan Nilsson, would you captain? No, I wouldn't. But if there is ever a week to go with a different captain, it would be this week. Again, Salah going away to Newcastle now. Good day, Choi. Hello, Crumbs Jr. Are you rolling transfer? Absolutely. So the reason I think rolling transfer is a play for me this week is, again, when at the start of the season, like everyone, us content creators spend a lot of time tinkering with your team, our own team. Sorry. I need to log in. This is not my team. Let me log in real quick. I'll quickly pull this to the side. Sorry. Okay, I'm logged in. Did that log me in? Yeah, it did. So again, if you look at a lot of what's being talked about in the community, wildcard 13 is quite popular. Why is my team glitched? Not now, not like this. Sorry guys, 1 second. Okay, never mind. FPL team is glitched for me. I won't be showing that. Anyway, like I was saying, the idea of rolling a transfer and not going early on Reinders is I don't think Reinders is a must just yet. Like, I need to see a bit more. That first performance was absolutely phenomenal. I don't take anything away from it. But at the end of the day, it was against Wolves. And Wolves are absolutely down bad. And if they lose Strand Larson, I mean, they're going down. Well, potentially going down. I think it's getting quite likely. Happy Deadline says tough. Ended with 84 points with my Salah captain and Haaland draft. Would you start Van de Ven over Esteve given he doesn't have the upside of Porro? I would start Esteve in that sense. Absolutely, I'd start Esteve. Reinders says tough fixtures. I wouldn't exactly call him tough, personally. But like I was saying, the plan down the line is to roll as many transfers as early on as you can. And again, that keeps you flexible for a lot of the uncertainty in fantasy football. I don't need to tell you that. Anyone who's played fantasy football knows that there's always issues in your team. One way or another, no matter how well you plan for it. And one of those issues for me might be Rutter. And I had to keep my options open, so it could also be Gakpo. So if Rutter is getting minutes, I'm happy to continue with the same team. If not, I'll do a double move or even a single move of getting rid of Rutter. So yeah, that's where my head is at with him, with Rutter and my transfers down the line. Ideally, in an ideal world for every manager who is currently playing, Wildcard 13 is probably the optimal route. Again, fixtures swing quite heavily if we look at the FDR. In game week 13, teams like Liverpool, City, even Arsenal have a decent run. City, Liverpool, yeah, that's right. Liverpool and City look great. And Arsenal, not a bad run as well. So, again, that would be an ideal time to wildcard if you're potentially looking at it. So, just looking at the ticker, if I save my transfer this week, I'll have 2 free transfers in game week 3. What does that leave me do? So, I'll potentially be able to target some of the easier fixtures like Burnley or Leeds for Newcastle United if I want to be a bit ambitious with my moves. I've looked at the likes of Anthony Gordon. I think he's quite appetizing. And also Dorgu, who looks cool. I had him in my game week 1 draft. Other than that, I wouldn't double up unless Sesko gets 90 minutes versus Fulham. I can't see myself getting rid of Watkins though. So I'm more than happy to roll into the next week in the game week 4 and potentially free hit. Excuse me. Can you please rank these 3 as your gold, silver and bronze? Salah, Palmer, Watkins. So for me it's Palmer and then silver for Watkins and Salah. Palmer is just about gold. Thank you, Jebel. He says bless you. Let's do a poll. Who is your captain? I'm curious to see who your guys are on. Again, don't go for Palmer because I'm on him. I'd never tell you to do anything just because I am. It's just what I'm feeling, and it's always how I make my decisions. Let's do a poll. I'll add Watkins to it. Who am I missing? Haaland and Arsenal. I can only do one or the other, so let's do Haaland / Ars. Ars. That's what's going in. Do hit the buttons on the poll. Also, like and subscribe. Again, almost at that 8k mark. Appreciate the support. Have you secured the gorgeous black away kit? I have. It is around. Who would you place Jeremy Frimpong with? Oh, that's a nice little poll graphic there. I didn't even know I did that. Well, there you go. Where should I put this? Because that's snazzy. I like that. Let's put it there for the time being. There you go, chat. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, do hit the buttons on that poll. Good, that's nice. Between Palmer and Salah, Haaland and Ars is 37%. Thinking Rodgers as captain. Derek, brilliant if you want him to come to Spurs, I guess. Yeah, I don't mind Rodgers. Again, I think Villa will put a few past Brentford. Why free hit 4? Free hit 4 because it does look good. And I might be able to bring in Salah versus Burnley. That's the main thing about potentially going with free hit 4. But let's look at this Rob T graphic. Again, for anyone that is new, we always bring up Rob T. And this is a very, very nice graphic. Let me close this poll and make it a bit smaller. Again, apologies if you can't see it now, but we'll get back to the poll in just a second. Let's use this Rob T graphic as a talking point for now. One thing at a time. Okay, so Haaland, who I own, 6.8 expected FPL points. The next player I own, of course, Cole Palmer, and then underneath him, Bruno Fernandes. So I think it is close. As you can see, only 0.4 points in the difference. And like I said, Palmer and Salah are even close, 0.2 in the difference. There's really, really not much in captaincy this week. A lot will look at my team and say the most obvious one is Haaland. But by virtue of how Spurs are going to play, I think it could be close. Not to say I don't think Haaland will score. I think he's a good chance of scoring for sure. I do fancy Arsenal to hit a few past leads for sure. It's just who's going to be amongst the goals. I feel like in this type of game, it could be anyone. You could see Royce or Marino be on the score sheet for sure. I actually fancy Marino to score. 4.9 for Watkins makes sense, I guess, but it is a away game. And in the grand scheme of things, 4.9 isn't exactly far off. I know, he's 10th on this list, but 4.9 is saying that he's likely to get a goal, or a goal contribution, sorry. Bruno captain? Nah, not for me. Anyway, let's move on from this graph. Anyone else interested? Verts, by the way. Keep faith in Verts for anyone that owns him, for sure. I wouldn't do anything too rash with him. I think we know how good of a player he can be. This poll is interesting, though. 35% he currently on Ars. Slash Haaland. Look how split it is. I mean, that's amazing. Again, do vote. Get your votes in. How many subs are we on, by the way? I'm sure we're very, very close. For anyone that's not already, do subscribe. And let me close this poll and answer some questions. Do you think Gyökeres has 6 penalties? Yes. Salah and João Pedro to Haaland and Gakpo? No. I don't think I'd do that. And let me close this poll in a second. I'm going to take it off the screen. I hope no one captains Watkins. Yeah, I think it's not bad, but I don't see him getting a haul versus Brentford. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Haaland and Watkins score. I feel like Palmer has the potential to get a goal and assist here versus West Ham. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I'm weighing up captaincy. I feel like the most upside is on Palmer. Coopsy says, hey mate, should I bench boost Dubravka, Esteve, Porro and KDH? I can also use my free transfer to do Porro to Minoz as well. Dubravka, Esteve, Porro, KDH. Absolutely, I'd bench boost that and I'd just get rid of it. I wouldn't even worry how many points that brings me home as long as I get the minutes for the points from the minutes. Anything else is a bonus. Start Pedro Porro or Pat Matasar. I would start Sar because he's probably going to play in the 10. I say 10 in the 1 of 3 in midfield. His energy will be good. And not only will his energy be good, but he'll be good for DEFCON. I'd hope in a busy game like this. I'm still 50-50 playing Porro or Gehi. I think I'd just about play Porro. I would hold on to Bone as well. He's one that I've been looking at. I wish I could have Bone. Like, if I had Bone instead of Rutter, I mean, I feel like I'd have a great team. Bone going to be on penalties with no Paqueta if Paqueta's going out the gap. I think Potter will hit the panic button and park the bus tonight. Yeah, but, like, parking the bus versus the Chelsea team won't really get you very far. Cucurella, who makes runs into the box. James, who's very good. And Esteval, and they just have so many electric players who will be able to break down this low block. And again, it's West Ham. Their quality at defending, not very high on my list personally. But yeah, the West Ham guys will probably be good for DEFCON tonight. Who's on your radar? Ekitike. I think Ekitike is great, and I'm actually surprised I didn't get him in my Game Week 1 team. Now, hindsight is good, but I always pick Liverpool as number 9 at the start of the season. I guess I just didn't know where Ekitike was going to land with the likes of Isaac potentially coming in. Start Spurs duo or Burnley duo? Well, I would play the one Spurs defender. Well, actually, yeah, I'll play one of each. They didn't look good against Palace. Yeah, but Palace do that to a lot of teams. A lot of teams don't look good against Palace. In fairness. You know, Palace had a lot of chances versus Liverpool in the Community Shield as well. Caused a lot of problems. Start Wood or Sar? Close. That is close. Wood for the penalties, I guess. Replacement for Frimpong. Sorry, I never answered that question. For me, I think I'd probably go to a Daniel Munoz. I think Munoz is probably going to be the best value fullback in the game. The attacking threat is probably the highest amongst fullbacks in the league. And then he can get DEFCON on top of it. And Krupi Jr. got 1 minute last week. Shout out Krupi Jr. A lot of people went down to the what's his name? Marquee. While I went to Krupi Jr. Again, trying to avoid any price drops, and also, the manager came out and said that he's very, very versatile and can play multiple positions. So, I think there's a chance that Junior potentially makes his way into the team and gets some minutes. Again, if he starts getting minutes, that'd be amazing. Then I could potentially bench boost and forget about the ship. Tosin should be back for Chelsea. I think so too. Esteve first on your bench, surely? Yeah, sorry, I need to change that. Shout out for pointing that out. I'm so confused now. There you go. HI, Yusuf, good to see you. Haaland differential has been great in it, I agree. Help me pick my defender this week. Got Dubravka, Sells, Nico, Porro, Esteve, Renan, Aitonori, Anderson of Fulham. Defo, starting Ran, not sure about the rest. I think I would go Sells, Nico Williams, Aitonori, and Anderson over Porro and Esteve. Anderson will be really good for DEFCON versus United. He's going to concede though. And off the off chance he doesn't, he'll be on for a 12 pointer. Gehi or Esteve, who to start? Esteve. Start Wilson from Fulham or Dorgu? Wilson got 90 minutes versus who was it in that first game? Why can't I recall? But yeah, 4.5, great value. Would I start him over Dorgu? Yes, I think I would for DEFCON. Pat Matasar, Porro or Anderson of Fulham? In that case, probably Anderson. Porro or Richards? I'd go Richards. Start Nico Williams or Esteve? Nico Williams. So for bench boost, should I do Porro to Minoz or keep him and roll? Keep him and roll all day. Van de Ven or Esteve? Who to start? Esteve. Diouf or Esteve? Esteve. Okay. Let's move on to my team again. And I'll quickly do a scroll on Twitter. Let's see what people are doing. It's always good to do a bit of a stalk in the community. Actually, let's pull up this graphic real quick. So, Arsenal leading the line for expected goals this week. No surprise there. City second and Chelsea third. Liverpool fourth. And Bournemouth not far behind in fifth. Yeah, nothing really stands out here. I think the only thing that stands out for me is the Burnley 38% clean sheet. And now I knew this. But that's high. That's really high. Like it's... What, 9% less than... That was close. 9% less than Arsenal. Man, my throat is killing me. Sorry. 3% more than Chelsea, who I'm starting Sanchez without a doubt. And then 28% more than Tottenham. Well, 27% more than Tottenham. That is quite drastic. How set are you on Palmer captain on a percentage? I'm 95% sure I'm going to captain Palmer. Do you think Marquis will get some game time? I think so for sure, but it's he's just not ready yet. I do definitely think he's going to get some minutes, but like at no point will I want to ever start him in my team. Do you know what I mean? If I did own him. Okay, let's get back to Twitter and see what people are doing. Is Wissa playing this week? I doubt it. Highly doubt it. Should I get Bliba or Sarr for Tottenham? That is a close one. I'd probably get Sarr because he's cheaper, right? If Bliba's 5 million, probably Bliba. Otherwise, Sarr. I can't remember if Bliba's 5.5 or 5. He's probably 5 actually now that I think of it. Okay, it looks like there's absolutely nothing interesting on Twitter. Let's do a concept free hit. Let's try predict the players that are going to do this week. Do good this week, sorry. So, if I could choose any keeper, of course, I mean, it would be Raya, but my appetite for going for goals would be much higher, so I'd go Saka in there. And I'd also go Victor Gyökeres. So for anyone that's just joining us, this is a potential free hit if I was on it. I would have, how do you spell his name? Tofert. Trofert? I don't even know how to say his name. You know who I'm talking about though. Tofert for Bournemouth. I think he was amazing versus Liverpool. I was really impressed. Trofert. I would of course have, who would I have here? Let me think. I would have Cole Palmer for sure. I wouldn't have Anthony Gordon. Thank you for the correction, Trofert. Seeing me be an absolute noob. Tofers. Tofers. Brilliant. Anyway, let me go back to the team. I'd have Anton Semenyo. I mean, player in form, it's hard not to go for him when we've seen how poor Wolves were. Where else would I go? Let's take out Van Dijk and put in a 4 million. You could go with Ran, Aït-Nouri in there if you wanted. For now, we're just going to put him in for argument's sake and do something like that. Big up from the States. Thank you, Willis. Dragos says Richarlison. No, not in this team. Minoz. Yeah, shout names in chat and we'll discuss them. Minoz versus what is it going to say? Palace against Forest at home. I think it's not bad this week. Would he be in my free hit team? I'd have to think about it. Anyway, let's look at some other options this week. So we got Verts, Mbuemo, Foden, Kuna, Eze, Kevin Shade, Rogers. Morgan Rogers for me. Brentford away. Decent fixture. Can you show your team who's the cap? There's my team. My captain's Cole Palmer. Going back to this team. Who am I missing? Who does Jared Bowen play? Chelsea. Don't love that. Let me quickly look at a concept for here. 1 sec. By the way, Lenny Yaro, interesting one. Definitely an interesting one. Perhaps we go with... I see a lot of people talking about Evan Nilsson. Some people saying Mbuemo. For me though, maybe you don't go with Manoz and you actually just go for a Burnley defender. Just for the funds wise. And go with not Kyle Walker, someone who is 4 million. Let's go with Hartman. So we've 1.9 million to potentially upgrade a midfield spot or striker. 6.4 on a, let's just say for argument's sake, 6.5. Welbeck, don't love. Kuna and Mbuemo, nah, I wouldn't be going in Mbuemo this week. Well, actually on a free hit, you could definitely go in Mbuemo. Who does, would you have Igor Thiago? Probably not. João Pedro, no. Strand Larson, not bad. I guess Sesko? No. Okay, let's look at midfielder. Sorry, I know I'm pondering on this free hit team, but I know a lot of people are actually on free hit, so it might actually be useful. Let's go back to a 4.5 for now. Let's put in Morgan. And we have 2 million to upgrade Potts to 6.5. We could easily go, I'd go with a, or would I? No, I wouldn't. Harry Barnes, Ahmed Diallo, Grealish, Doku, Cherky. Man, free hit this week is not an easy decision. I'm actually really happy with my own team. Sar. Maybe Sar. Sar is good value, 6.5. Forest at home, not ideal fixture, but if we go similar like that, again, captaincy would be on Gyökeres or Saka. I think I'd prefer Saka if I was on it. Mr. Marinkus is watching you. I say he fucking is, I won't be surprised. But yeah, that's the concept for your team. Again, I haven't put too much thought into it, just off the cuff. Be along the lines of that for sure. Maybe a Cucurella would be nice instead of a Gabriel. And then go maybe a bit bold and get an Odegaard perhaps and triple up on attack if depending on your risk appetite. Anyway, let's go back to my own team. Sean Larson risky amid Newcastle rooms, I guess, but I do expect him to still play this week. How much is Matoma? 6.5. Team answers is very similar to his. Oh, great. You know what? One thing that's interesting is I always think that your first draft of a free hit is usually a good indicator of a good free hit, because I feel like your initial gut feeling on those initial players you put in are the ones you want. I could have worded that really poorly, but you get what I'm trying to say. Would you keep Tosin? Yes, I'd probably try starting this week. Would you start Esteve or the Disciper? I would start Esteve. Toe first and toes in. There's a team tonight. Toes. That's good, guy. That's brilliant. When do you plan to bench boost? After wildcard or before? Always after, unless I somehow manage to get to 5 free transfers. But bench boost, it's just one of those ones where I'm not even going to try put too much resources into setting up perfectly. It's always let me down. And to be honest, I'm sick of it. I end up losing points in the short term by going with it. How do you say that? Arsenic says, Yocha, I'm free hitting. I brought in Saka and I usually have Haaland in my regular team. Should I chase the points on a free hit with Saka captain or go Haaland, even though I would get that anyway? Well, if you're free hitting, I would just try and make the best team regardless, and I wouldn't think of anything else other than trying to get the best 11 or the most points in a singular game week. So I wouldn't worry or even think about your current own team. Saka or Haaland captain, happy with either. For me, if I had Saka, it would be on him. Again, Saka definitely, because Arsenal are expected to do so well this week. 2.43 expected goals for Arsenal. Any Chelsea team news? I have Achapong. No, but I heard Achapong played well. Not Hairland. No. Sanchez or Petrovic? Please tell. Sanchez for me. Even though Saka still mightn't be on penalties, well, yeah, because I'd probably expect... It's a hard one because, alright, usually in a normal week we'd expect Saka to get more minutes than Gyökeres. Right, that's the first thing. But when it comes down to a week where it's against bottom half or bottom 3 leads, probably not. So probably Gyökeres is really close. I'm not actually going to give you an answer because I don't have one. So we have a question from City. Says, is Dom Solanke going to start? So if we go to Alistair Gold, an interesting quote got released. It was on about Richarlison. Alistair Gold, Spurs journalist, for anyone that doesn't know. If we go, I don't think... No, wrong one. Where is this quote I'm looking for? Let me go to Fran. Fran retweeted it, I believe. I could have just passed it, by the way. But essentially he's saying that Richarlison scored 2 goals, he's on form, gotta play him. I don't think Watkins' cap is stupid over Haaland by any means, no. This is the quote. Thomas Frank on Richarlison. Right now he is my starting 9. He scored 2 goals. Richie wants to stay. I want to keep him, and there's been no talks about anything else. It's very telling. And he's also been very good, despite the goals. So, I do like it. Yeah, I agree. Richie definitely starts. But his minutes are probably 70 minutes, saying that. I'm the same as you, Chai. Captain Palmer over Haaland. I'm a Spurs fan, and I can see us keeping scoring low tomorrow, plus the early kickoff curse. Are reasons similar for you? Come on, you Spurs. Yes, not because I'm a Spurs fan, but because I can see how Spurs are going to play this. Especially Thomas Frank. I mean, he has his own tactical masterclass against the Big Six on YouTube. I mean, it says a lot. And we're going to play 10 behind the ball with Kudus probably being the 9 on the break. great ball carrier, get us out of danger. Richarlison is also really good at holding up, winning us a few fouls on the way out. City have been really impressive. It'd be a really testing game for City, of course, because a lot of people actually underestimated City going into the league. Again, I feel like that won't go away if Spurs get a result here. But at the same time, if City get a result, it'll be, oh, City are on for the league, well, whatever. Even though you'd expect City to beat us. I mean, I'd be very surprised if we get a result. Is it the early kickoff? Absolutely not. Nothing to do with early kickoff. Baked016 with the subscribe. Almost at the 8,000 mark. Thank you for the kind words. Ascenic Football says... Okay, I'm after missing the message. Apologies. EJ says, who to start? Murillo, Paro, Salah. There's too many names there, EJ. Sorry. Who would you replace Frimpong with? Probably Daniel Munoz. I think game week 4, everyone's going to want him. I forgot about Gandhi. I'm moving to Arsenal cap. Nah, Gandhi doesn't count on when there's a Friday game. If it's the first game of the week, I think it counts. Saka cap, yeah, if I had him. Should I play the Burnley defender and keeper in this game week? I would be happy to hedge my bets, personally. Sell Gakpo or Neto for Semenyo? I don't see why you'd sell Gakpo, personally. By the way, Gakpo goal to on the weekend would be lovely. He'd be really giving his value there at half the price of Salah then. Can you explain when we should bench boost? I would bench boost if I had one or two of Dubravka and Esteve and two other players who are going to get minutes this week. And I really wouldn't overthink it. I would just click the button. Again, we get 2 bench boosts this week. I've got Cucurella and Sanchez. Double up on Chelsea defence or play Dubravka. I would double up all my eggs in one basket. Palmer cap, absolutely. Over Haaland, yes. Let me close that poll, by the way. Interestingly enough, let me bring it back up for you guys. I'm sure you can see it, but... Oh, fuck, I can't see the poll. Anyway, never mind. 32% on Haaland / Arsenal, 30% on Palmer, 26% on Salah. If you're asking me, Salah will probably be the highest effective ownership going into the game week. Why Palmer? West Ham are poor. Palmer's been poor. I just feel like there's something in this for Cole Palmer to get a return or two. No more than that. I'm gutted I didn't get Aït-Nouri. Yeah, me too. I had Aït-Nouri and Reinders in before stream as a potential transfers, but I didn't do it. Haaland, Ekitike, Yoker is up front on free hit. I mean, that's beautiful. But that means your midfield is probably slacking. Why Palmer over Watkins? Palmer is definitely a better option than Watkins this week. And I'm not saying that he can't outscore Palmer, but I just mean on paper, I feel. Again, that's just me though. Again, please don't panic. It's only game week 2. This is a long run, and if you start panicking early days, I mean, you've got a long few weeks ahead of you. It is a marathon, of course, and any sprints in between definitely help. By the way, just a note on, I know there's a lot of controversy about game week 1 not being important, but at the same time, I think if you're an experienced manager and you hit the ground running in game week 1, I do get the argument that, you know, it's very there's no data to support game week 1 to game week 5, 6, 7, and it's very high variance. That's the word I was looking for. But in my best season of FPL in 21-22, my biggest returns, thank you for the subscribe, Vikrant. My biggest returns came in game week 3 and 4. Again, it was an anomaly. But again, because the variance is there, you can do things a bit different and try to rack up the points. And if you do, you have a phenomenal start and you can manage the rest of the season a bit easier because you might build up some early transfer value. You might have popular players in place. And you just have a good ranks start. So if you do wildcard and you go with something a bit more data driven or similar to the crowd, I mean, you're going to be so close team wise, and rank is going to be maybe 30, 40, 50 points ahead. definitely does matter a bit more than I think it's made out to be. But yeah, no, game week. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I've had a good start, but in those seasons, and I've never had a good start in FPL. I'm usually 1 to 2 million at this stage. And anyone that knows me, I do things a bit differently. Again, no Salah this season, which so far is working out. It's not to say next week I can't be ranked 3 million. So, is Malian a great option? No, not necessarily. What do you think about Palmer not scoring in the league since January? Yeah, but it's kind of nothing. Like, I really take this game against West Ham in isolation. I just know the player Palmer is. And that doesn't mean he's definitely going to return. I just, if I could choose out of the three in front of me, it's going to be Palmer. And specifically because I think he can do well in this game. In this singular game. And when he goes into this game today, he's not looking at what he done since January. He's taking the game as it is. All it will take is a jammy penalty. Because he's on them, of course, it fights for his case. Or, an assist or, something small. And in FPL, that's what we look for. And that's why we go for the talismanic people like Palmer. Because it takes very little for him to hold. Especially a lot goes through Palmer. So I wouldn't look too much into it. It's same with Salah. Like, you could easily captain him and he could get a haul. Newcastle way on paper though looks poor, and he's not been great in the last two games, Community Shield and that first game versus Newcastle. But all it takes is a 90-minute goal and he's on 3 bonus. Tosin Ekitike, long term, very good. Long term, I don't know what you mean with that. Maybe till game week 6. But even at that, if it looks like there's not going to be Isaac, he looks great. Do you think Spurs defenders are good for DEFCON against City? I think the best one will probably be Kevin Danso if he's getting a lot of headed clearances away. Rutter for rounders, not bad, but I would have bit the bullet a bit earlier, and I'm more than happy to hold off for the time being. Anyone keeping Marmoush? If I had Marmoush, I'd probably keep him for the Tottenham game. If I had like the likes of Esteve on the bench, which I assume we do. Is your team locked? Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere with this team. I'm happy to go into the game week with this team. Saka, Palmer, Bruno, Wirtz, Gakpo, Pedro, Ekitike, all in on LFC. Do I keep them all for Newcastle and Arsenal looking ahead for an attack? Yeah, I would keep them, Peter. Okay, let's do another scroll on Twitter. Thank you 02 for the subscription. Let me quickly check. How close are we to hitting 8,000 subscribers? Do let me know. I'm going to check just now. It looks like we hit it. Yeah, it says 8k for me. Let me know if we hit it for you. But yeah, thank you for all the support over the last few years. For anyone who's been here before and anyone who's new and joining us, welcome. I do appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. And it's been a hell of a journey so far. 8k. I'm hoping we get 10k by the end of the season. That would be the goal. Do I think Sesko will start? I'd like to think so. But yeah, no, 8k subscribers in how many videos? Let me quickly look up how many videos we're on. I think we're at 80. 80 videos the channel is on. Let me quickly see. So again, we are a small niche enough channel, but 8k subs for 81 videos is great. It's phenomenal. And not like that ratio matters, but I just mean like, it just means that people are enjoying it and it's been consistent. So thank you. Good evening, says Chess Econ. Hello, Chess Econ. But yeah, it's, I do it because I enjoy it, and again, you guys make it much easier for me to, express some of my thoughts, and it's good that I have an audience that tune in on a weekly basis, and again, really do appreciate it. So thank you for the kind words and hitting the buttons for me on a weekly basis. Means a lot. So yeah, let's go back to Twitter, not Grok. I'll go back to X. Am I committed to Captain Palmer? Absolutely. He'll be my game week 2 captain. And by the way, if Palmer does haul, to note, the gains this week by how split captaincy is going to be. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be really, really... Like, I think it's going to be a massive green arrow if Palmer holds, I'd like to think. Again, the other 3 could also hold, but because Palmer is going to be second or third least, anyone who has Arsenal is going to captain Arsenal. But not many own him. Congrats, Choi. Only to start. I see your work putting in this season. Thank you, Davis. Appreciate it. Which 2 to start? Paro, Anderson, Dorgu, Esteve. Anderson and Esteve. Again, it's tough because I have Paro and I'm starting him over Esteve. But my general advice would be to start Esteve over Paro. Because, again, it's a clean sheet ratio for me. Like 38% chance. Palmer hasn't scored an open play for 7 months, but I don't care because if he can score a penalty and a free kick for all I care about. I just care if he gets points. Do you know what I mean? Are you moving on Rutter? No, not this week. Hi, I think United will score 2+ goals this week and want to go for attacker since they have Burnley next week. Would you go for Mbeumo or Kuna? I think that's really close. I think it is a coin toss. I wouldn't choose one over the other. Probably Kuna. More likely to get bonus if he gets a return. Would you bench boost double Burnley defence with Van de Ven and Fulkrug? Absolutely, I would. HI, nice stream. What are your thoughts on Tottenham selling Richarlison? I don't think we're not gonna sell Richarlison, and I don't think you should either. I think your channel is unique. Thank you. Ice G, good to see you. Glad to see you smashing. I hope it continues. I activate triple captain. Do I stick on it? Saka or Gyökeres? Ice G, I don't think there's a right answer for that. For me, I'd be on Saka. Interesting to see a triple captain being played though. And you've both Gyökeres and Saka not on free hit, which is even madder. Why are you starting double Forest defence ahead of double Burnley? I think Sunderland nick a goal. It's by far not the optimal thing to do. The optimal thing to do is play Dubravka and Esteve, but I'm more than happy to just play Pedro Porro and Sanchez. Just joined. What's your reason on Palmer captain? 5 at the back, 10 men behind the ball for Spurs versus City. Haaland won't have much space to run into, I can't imagine. And Palmer, I fancy him versus West Ham. Isidore and Mienda, who starts? Probably Mienda. Or both. Would you start Richards over Minta? No, I'll start Minta. Vasa says, any thoughts on Wharton to Real Madrid and what could that mean for Palace defence? I really trust in Ollie Glasner. I don't think it would impact it too much personally. I don't see that transfer happening though. Why you start Porro over Esteve for a potential goal threat? Again, Spurs are going to be playing 5 at the back. Porro will get forward. HI, start King over Solanke? Yes, for the DEFCON. I would. Not Chris would. Okay, let me go back to Twitter. Again, we don't want to miss anything. No Haaland price rise, which is quite annoying actually, yeah. Again, like I said on Twitter, this is going to be a very, very swingy week. Yeah, I'd have bench boost on if I had 4 playing bench players. Tosin or Porro? Tosin. I would just play Tosin. I would personally would just play Tosin. H, I just played... Palace just played yes. They'll be tired. I think the score is going to be 0-0 or 0-1. Forest playing away and they'll park the bus. I agree. Completely agree. Thoughts on Semenyo as captain? Interesting. To say the least. Wildcard, Sanchez, Williams, Ronaldo, Dorgu, Saka, Gakpo, Semenyo, Kuna, Haaland, João Pedro, Watkins. That is interesting. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. If you think they're going to do well, happy days. Mateta or Wood, keep one until game week 5. Mateta all day. I think Mateta, Bowen are really interesting picks. And I'm happy there's a lot of variation for strikers. I think Bowen is severely underrated. Again, 8 million might be a bit expensive, but still underrated. Bowen is the type of player I'd like on a free hit if he had good fixtures. One to be left out, Wilson, Matoma, and Jai. Wilson. What do you think of my team, lads? I'm happy with it, personally. I'm actually quite happy with it. Let me see if I can get FPL team to work real quick to pull my team. Unless I'm getting my team ID wrong. Nope, that is indeed my team ID. That doesn't seem to want to work. Anyway, we'll leave that. And let me do another little scroll on Twitter. By the way, do become a member if you want to join the WhatsApp group. Again, I'm not trying to take your money. I'm just trying to build as many people as I can in the group chat. It's good to be involved in a little community, and it's just a way for us to get a bit closer. So if you want to become a member, I would appreciate it. And I'll get you involved. I need to sneeze. Excuse me. Would you bench boost 3 players in Krupi Jr.? No, I won't. I won't. I'll be a bit more patient and just do it sometime after wildcard. Excuse me. Ugh. Morning from the US. Any advice on what to do with Mark Gahey? Hold on to him. That would be my advice. Would you sell Rodgers for Rangers? No, I wouldn't. Bless you, my G, says Ishmael. Thank you. Are you locked on captain? Yes, absolutely. Bless you. Alright, let me re-scroll Twitter, or reopen Twitter again. Should I buy Calafiori in place of Frimpong? No. Choi, you got COVID? No, no chance I have COVID. That doesn't exist anymore. Why are you playing Power over Esteve? Just for the potential upside. Another subscriber. Thank you, Belutti. Appreciate it. By the way, voice notes are on for super chats. And I've upped the audio. Thoughts on transferring Bowen to Strand Larson to free up a few funds to upgrade Martinelli to Verts ahead of game week 4. I mean, overall, I like Bowen. But I think Strand Larson is a bit risky now with the links to Newcastle. You've had a nose block all year, I know, yeah. It doesn't go away. Haaland has ligma, does he? Need 2 good 4.5 defenders for free hit. I got Gabriel, Murillo and Esteve right now. 4.5 for free hit. I would actually try just get a Cucurella at that point. Hi Choi, should I bench boost Jorginho, Ruta, Dubravka, Diouf and Nico Williams? Yes. Saka or Haaland captain? Saka if I had him. But of course, I'm hoping that everyone but Palmer blanks, except Haaland maybe. I think I could be on for a big week, lads. A big week. Who's streaming? Let's see who's streaming. Curious. Let's talk Raptor, Harry, Oscar. Enjoy surrenders. Not yet. I'd hold off. Good luck in game week 2. Should I start Estevie or Van Dijk? Van Dijk for DEFCON. Going out for dinner. Best of luck, Davis. Enjoy dinner. Thanks for the stream. Good luck with the game week. And everybody in chat. Absolutely. Why wouldn't you bench boost the team you have now? Krupi Jr. is not going to play. Goodmanson might get me minus points. Not worth. What's your score prediction for City versus Spurs? 1-1. What about Williams for Esteve? That is an option. That's definitely an option, but I'm going to put all my hope in Forest defence. With Palmer cap being most popular, I'm tempted to go with Watkins. I don't think Palmer would be the most captained. I think it'll be Salah by default. It'll be Salah for anyone who's on free hit or has an Arsenal. They'll go to Arsenal asset. The least captain will be Watkins, and then Haaland will just be above him, I think. What do you think about Frimpong? If I had him, I'd get rid of him. Gold head. Clinton says, is Semenyo a good captain instead of Gakpo, Watkins and Palmer? He's not a bad one by any means. He's just very risky. No penalties. Would you play King over Wood? No. We have 45 minutes until the deadline. I'm sure a lot of you are locked in. You're just sticking around, so I appreciate it. A lot of people are surprised by going Palmer over Haaland captain. I don't think Haaland is a bad captain at all. I just think Palmer is a better one. It's nothing to do with Haaland being bad. I hope you're okay, Chai, with Eze. I'm fine. Disappointed, but I don't want players who don't want to join my club. You know, at the end of the day, I want players who want to join Tottenham Hotspur and they don't need to be incentivized. Haaland has 159% effective ownership according to Scout. That is definitely wrong. Would you play Sells or Dubravka? I played Sells. Would you bench Tielemans or Aït-Nouri? Probably Tielemans. Why two not in the Forest defenders? Because Palace might be a bit leggy. FPL Wander says, what are your thoughts on Tielemans, Chai? I have both. Do you recommend I go between... I have both. Who do you recommend I go between Saka and Haaland? I'd go Saka in that case. Who are your top three Frimpong replacements? Daniel Munoz, Renan Aït-Nouri, and I have to say Cucurella. Definitely a good option. Bench Bone, Gakpo or Evan Nilsson. Oh man, how have you come down to benching one of those? They're all great. Are you on Palmer because you're a Spurs fan? No, I just think we're going to play 11 men behind the ball. No Arsenal fares. It's just the fixture run though. The fixture run for Arsenal after having the game where you expected to get a clean sheet versus United. If you had to bench one, Nico Williams or Murillo? Williams. So what about benching Porro and captaining Watkins? It's alright, I don't love it though. Will Davison says, Chai, I hope you're well, mate. I'm on free hit and this week the team is fire. Just need to decide on Anderson or Dingra. Who would you go with? I'd probably go with Anderson. If you have Salah, would you captain him? Despite having Palmer too. No, I'd also be on Palmer captain. The type of manager I am is I more so go for the fixtures rather than player. Especially at the start of the season. I'm more happy to risk captaincy. So many points to be made up at the start of the season because teams aren't playing exactly how they would. Alright, let's do a little scroll on Twitter, see what we got. Anything interesting. Spiros AI team, my own team, Haaland captain, interesting. That's a very good team, by the way. Sorry I'm late, Shy. Good to see you, George, my man. Better late than never. George, if you can become... sorry, I don't know what I was going to say there. I was going to say, we have Spacine in here. Gary says, your apology is accepted, George. Don't worry, George, my boy. We got things under control, just about. And you missed the new notifications, George. Someone needs to set off one of the notifications so George can see. And we've changed the stream layout, George, as you can see. And I also done this little graphic, George, if you care. But yeah. Porro. Man, starting Diouf versus Chelsea is never good. I swear Palmer hasn't scored in the Prem since January. Everyone keeps saying this, but like, if he gets a set piece, I don't care. It's not that he hasn't scored, it's open play goal. Yeah, we've done a lot, George. George, how's your own team going? Let me know your team idea and I can pull it up on stream. What do you think is Ekatike captain? I don't love it. Saka or Gyökeres? Captain or in general Saka? I would prefer to go with the Prem proven player. Prem proven player, love that. Diouf or Joachim Anderson? For me. I have a defence question. I have Sells on goal, Cuckoo, Williams and Esteve starting three. Okay, what's your question? We have half an hour, 40 minutes until the deadline. Almost there. By the way, George, we hit 8k subs also. Best Solanke replacement. Mateta, he's up there. Wildcard if my bench doesn't play and I have 2 Everton defenders, I wouldn't wildcard. Yeah, Brace would get FPL shaken in fairness. But again, they have really tough fixtures. I don't think too many would be swayed. I captained Ekatike last week and I got... and then took 2 minutes before the deadline for Palma. That is sickening. Hi, I have João Pedro. Do I roll the transfer or do I transfer him? Because I think he will play... I don't think he will play the full match. Not playing the full match is not a problem for Pedro. As long as he can get a good 70, he'd be happy. With deadline sometimes being dodgy with the app site, could you run down team news summary real quick? So Richarlison is said to play number 9 for Spurs. And other than that, we don't really have team news. Alright, let me scroll on Twitter on that note just so we don't miss anything. What do you expect your points tally to be this week? Alright, let's do it. When we celebrate on 8k. How do you do next line in chat? I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to go Sanchez 7. Murillo. This is me predicting my own points. Murillo 8. Williams 6. Paro 2. Gakpo, I think he'll score actually. I think he'll get 7. Palmer 18. Kudus will probably get, if I'm being realistic, 2. Bruno will get me some. I know Bruno. And Jorginho will probably get me 2. And then Haaland will probably get 6. Watkins will get 6. Okay, so let me tot that up. Sanchez 7, 15, 21, 23, 30, 48, 50, 58, 60, 72. 72 would be... that's a lot to ask for. Maybe I'm being a bit ambitious there. Let's see. Alright, now I'm here. Everyone run up the stream and leave a like. Cheers, George. Let me quickly, appreciation for George, pull up his team. He says his ID is the following. How do I put in team ID. Let me just look up FPL team. I'm gonna have a quick look at my boy George's team. It is 8-4-5-2-4. George, by the way, he didn't play fancy football last year because he was a bit stressed with college. This time round, he's only gone and done it. He's a very, very solid team, and he's a good manager because I've seen him play FPL before. Now, George's message has been restricted by himself. I didn't even know that was possible. I'd like to remind you, Solanke has dropped to 7.4. Who was the best replacement? I apologise for that. I didn't realise. Best replacement 7.4. That is tough. That is real tough. Not exactly spoiled for choice. Evan Nielsen, I say. He didn't play because he's soft. Agreed. Alright, let's look at George's team. George, who are you on for captain this week? I'm going to assume you're going Erling Haaland. That's a very good team. Petrovic on the bench. That's a close bench and headache. I'm also going to assume you're not going to make a transfer this week. You have 0.5 in the bank unless you're getting rid of Malin. Good to see Tiny Fungus, another channel member in chat. Someone please subscribe so Tiny Fungus and George can see the new notifications are back. Or Tiny Fungus, if you want to leave a super chat, do leave some kind words in the super chat so you can see it. It can be 99 cents, just or you, George. What do you do outside of FPL? So outside of FPL, I watch football. I go to the gym. I starting a job on Monday. Other than that, I'm pretty boring. Nothing special. Just graduated out of computer science. Alright, let's get back to my team. Palmer, because I know ball. Love that, George. Please, someone send us a 99 cent super chat with a nice message. Dubravka or Sanchez? Sanchez for me. There you go.
Replacements ideas from now on equals spin that wheel, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Lads, is that not brilliant? That is brilliant. Cactus Jack, I asked the two boys to send me a super chat, and Cactus Jack is throwing money at him. Throwing money at me for the second time this stream. Surely you drink Guinness. The odd time. Replacement ideas from now on. Spin that wheel. Cactus Jack, put in chat, what do you want me to spin the wheel for though? What replacement ideas? I mean, I need you to be a bit more specific for me. Text to speech. The boys love it. I knew it. I know, it's pretty good. By the way, anyone who's not hit those buttons already, please like and subscribe. Try get the stream to 100 likes. Again, we just hit 8,000 subs. Is Watkins overlooked for captaincy? I don't think he's overlooked. I think he's well looked at. Just enough where, you know, it doesn't hurt us if Watkins does well, but a nice amount where if he does well, captainers are happy. But yeah, Cactus Jack, please put in chat. Be a bit more specific. And George has become a channel member, not only a moderator. Legend, George, appreciate you. So we've got Tiny Fungus and George in chat who've become a member. Who else we got in here? I know we've seen others around. Do let us know in chat if you're also a channel member. Gary says spicy chai. I know, Gary. Gary, you've been around quite a while. George, I'll have to add you to the WhatsApp. Cactus Jack says, I just meant in general for anyone in the stream, if they want a replacement ideas, you can spin the wheel on them for cinema. Okay, we'll do that just for you, Cactus Jack. I do appreciate you sticking in the stream for so long, but I would advise Cactus Jack, I would stop sending me money, and what I would do is become a member. That way I can add you to the WhatsApp group. Good to see Vasa, you're lurking around, he's still here. How to become a member? Clinton, I'll get one of the moderators to put a link in chat. You can click that link. Or if you click the join button on my channel, you can also become a member. So feel free to do that. Again, you do get access to my WhatsApp chat. Again, there's nothing secret in there or worth paying for. It's just the idea that you get to support me and you get to be involved in my community with people who also love the channel. So feel free to do it. Virgil, Diouf, or Van de Ven? Virgil. And there's the link to become a member. George, feel free to spam that in 3 times if you need, for anyone that wants to join. And it looks like Study Tube is spamming. Dragon says Reinildo or Esteve or Van de Ven or Diouf. Select 2 chai. I would choose Esteve and Reinildo. Tiny Fungus sending FPL Chai gift memberships. And not only did he send it, but it landed on Sushant. Thank you, Tiny Fungus, and well done, Sushant. Do show face. Legend Tiny Fungus. Absolute legend. Congrats, Sushant. Gary's giving a warm congrats to Sushant. Green looks good on you. Absolutely does. Sushant, are you even active? Show face. Let me see you. Maybe some kind words. But yeah, so we have half an hour until the deadline. Again, just to show the captain again. Cole Palmer is the captain. Does Palmer slightly play out of position, not put you off? Absolutely not. 160 you in here. We just hit the 8k. We got Reese Dolan. He says, what's up, Chai? Alright, Reese, how are we? But yeah, gifted membership, that's brilliant. Maximilian says, Chai, can I do a bench boost? Here's my team ID. Let's do it just for you because you're a member, of course. Let's go. What is your team ID? 2469956. Let's pull that up quickly. Should you bench boost? It's going to be a quick answer. The answer is yes. Again, like I said, I wouldn't hesitate on bench boosting as long as I had 4 playing bench players who are going to get more than 60 minutes each. Start Dorgo or Esteve. Not too bad, lads. Captain on Palmer, says Reese. Love that. Absolutely love that. It looks like Sushant doesn't want to show face. Sushant, if you're in here, I know you're in here. The fitness guy says Porro or Anderson. Anderson for the DEFCON. Will I have to sell Consa first? Then yes, if you're gonna sell Consa, I would. You get to bring him to a 5 million if he didn't drop in price, that is. It's been a great stream, lads. 28 minutes remaining. I tried the link but not opening the YouTube membership. It should do. You could be able to click the support Chai if you want to click on membership. It's a $ sign emoji. George, maybe you can help Clinton out if that link still works. I don't know. Verts or Kudus? Verts all day. Porro or Diouf? Porro. I don't see Diouf doing very well. I could be very wrong though. Play Dewsbury Hall or Bowen? Bowen. Bowen. This week not great. I think overall though, overlooked. Do let me know in chat where you're watching from. I'm intrigued. You don't have to tell me. Just put an emoji. What flag are you representing? Esteve, Cuckoo, and Williams. Should I replace anyone with Porro? No. Well, unless Esteve. But I would advise generally to play Esteve. I'm just chasing the upside with Porro. What about Watkins captain? Don't mind it. Again, don't love it. Dublin. Says Renatus. Another one that's been around a lot. Chai, you worried about Rutter's minutes? Slightly, but I think he'll play this week. There you go, Clinton. There's a link for you again. Australia says Photox. Yes, Chai, bro. Porro to start or Dorgu? Dorgu. Saudi Arabia, Abdulaziz is watching from. Hallen, JP, and Watkins and double Arsenal defence, or Gyökeres, JP, and Watkins free hit, by the way, Chai. The former for me. Leeds? Come on, Leeds. Chai, Saka or Palmer captain? Saka. Watching from Tokyo. Tokyo is one place that is definitely interesting. Internet cafe from Somalia, Cactus Jack. What? By the way, I need to do that spin the wheel for you. Okay, here are players that I think we should be looking at, regardless of the results in this week or next week. And I'm not gonna spin the wheel. I'm just gonna add him to the wheel. Daniel Munoz, John Philippe Mateta. I'm gonna butcher this, aren't I? Mateta. Bowen. Differential. Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands. China. Ghana. Let me look up Cayman Islands. India. Chances of Matson's minutes, not great. Cayman Islands, that's crazy. What makes you play FPL? Do you support a Premier League team? I'm intrigued. Ghana, West Africa. Shout out Ghana. Malaysia, that's where my dad is from. Falklands. Champions Collide, good to see you, my man. Bruno transfer from Buemo? Nope. Offshore bank accounts. Captain Salah Palmer. Palmer. Hi, Chai, I'm from Malaysia here. Answer that. Spacine, you're from Singapore? No way. My aunt is from Singapore. Guess the flag. How do I not know that flag? Yusuf, enlighten me. Would you advise Haaland as captain? Yes, well I wouldn't go against El Salvador, surely. That's crazy. Zimbabwe. A lot of African countries. You're listening to an Asian who's Irish, which is quite diverse. Talk about the Premier League in England. Uzbekistan. That's crazy. 2 people randomly says Uzbekistan. What are the chances of that? That is so random. Which Asian are you? My dad is Malaysian and my mom is Hong Kong. Why Uzbekistan? Since when do we have so many people watching from Uzbekistan? Are you all friends or something? Uzbekistan. Oh, that's that flag.
Hold Turkey or remove him to re-unders for security.
€2 super chat from Jonathan Essaman. He says, hold Turkey or move him to Reinders for security. I would move him to Reinders. And the reason I think that is because I think generally, out of Foden, out of Marmoush, Reinders, Doku, I think Sharky's minutes is probably going to be the least, I want to say. It's going to be the least out of those bunch anyway. Am I locked in, says Reese Clay. Yes, absolutely I am. Thank you for the super chat, Jonathan. I do appreciate it. Do me a favour, if you want to support the channel, do be a member. I won't send me super chats unless you're already a member. So you can join the WhatsApp group. Legit, only still here because of your accent. Love Andy, but your accent wins. No, Andy's brilliant. Again, interestingly enough, Let's Talk FPL Andy is from Galway, which is in Ireland. He just has an English accent, and of course he's English. That's what the flag is. That's the flag. Everyone tell me that's the flag. From Bangladesh. The voice of the text speech. No, it's brilliant. This is so good. Tort says Oscar Bob might be the best 5.5 if they sell Savinho. Did you see Oscar Bob? He was phenomenal. He was running around the place, and for me, it's almost hard to bench him. It's good to see he's back. Do you think Bowen scores against Chelsea? Probably not, but I do fancy Bowen in general. Nepal. Hello, Choi, the differential GOAT. Start 3 of Van de Ven, Diouf, Nico, Esteve, Rondon. I'm going to assume you meant Roden. For me, Nico, Esteve, and Van de Ven. Oh, I was trying to enlighten you. Sorry, Yusuf. Okay. I was about to say everyone is from Uzbekistan. I was about to say opinions on Spurs being linked to Savinho. I don't see it happening unless we chuck 80 million at him. Do you think Tosin starts? Yes. Odds of Palmer playing on the right likely. Should I start Porro or Fulkrug? Fulkrug. Frannock, my boy. You never miss these streams, Frannock. You are another one who should become a member so you can join the WhatsApp. Which I could only tune in a little on holiday. Let us know where you're on holiday, Frannock. I'm intrigued. Start Dewsbury, Hall or Anderson? Hall. Always started attacker for me. Today I identify as Uzbekistanian. If you're from Uzbekistan, Yusuf, let me know how you say like you're from there. Like again, if you're from Ireland, you're Irish. Uzbekistanian, Uzbekistan. I don't know. Is it Uzbek? I don't know. We are a massive nation, though. To be fair, larger than Australia. Matter of fact, that is crazy. Is the Stevie a risk this week? I wouldn't say a risk. It's definitely better than Van de Ven though. I feel like Ven could score. I haven't forgiven him for the ball clearance in Europa League final. I know, brilliant. Best look, Omar. Just Uzbek. Interesting. Why are you not playing the Burnley centre back and goalkeeper? Because at the end of the day, it's Burnley, and I think they can concede. Welcome, Shafiq Ahmad, to the channel. I assume you're new if you're subscribing. Downtown says Semenyo for Marmouche. I'd be tempted to give Marmouche another week, but I think the right play is to bring in Semenyo. Do you know what? Something that's interesting. I wonder now with Thomas Frank Ball in full flow, if we go to Tottenham Hotspur and we bring up Spurs' official account, just something I noticed. Mickey Van de Ven on the set pieces, or movement in the box in general. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Let me quickly just zoom in. It's easier. But look at Van de Ven. Two players who are really good at this. Van de Ven and Vuskovic. Van de Ven scores about 3 goals in these few clips. There's Vuskovic, who doesn't get a chance there. Saka says, please reply, Chai. What's your question, Saka? Thoughts on Akalushi, Bilal and Paz? I think out of the bunch, I know a lot of the analytic guys like Akalushi. For me, I think Paz is probably the best talent. Akalushi the best fit. But yeah, look at Van de Ven in these clips. I don't know if you're watching while I was speaking, but Maynuk says please reply, bro. Palmer or Saka as cap? Well, I'm on Palmer, so I can't give you much advice, but I'd go Saka. Look at this goal from Van de Ven, brilliant. Anyway, I just wanted to say maybe there is a bit more goal threat for Van de Ven this season. But yeah, Paz wouldn't make it in the Prem. I don't know. It's just potential. What game week are you bringing in Eze? Me bollocks, so I'll be bringing in Eze. Esteve or Anderson? Anderson for me. Why Sanchez over the Bravnik and Porro over Esteve? I just fancy Chelsea clean sheet. Porro, I'm chasing the upside. Bruno or Semenyo? Bruno. This week Semenyo though. Do you think Tosin will start? Yes. I think it's unlikely he doesn't start. Tottenham versus City predictions 1-1. Hopefully it's a boring 1-1. I'll take it. Deadline is so chill, got us talking about Uzbekistan and Van de Ven training comp. Absolutely, Yusuf. That's what it's about. You're never ever going to have panic here. Unless it's me. But you guys should never panic. Would you downgrade Porro to Van de Ven? No. Not for me. With Madison being out, Porro brings a lot, set piece wise. Double Forest defence or start Dubravka and Esteve? Well, I've got Double Forest. How long is Dragushin out for? I'm unsure. I think he's fairly fucked, and I don't see him getting back in this team anyway. You know, Danso is definitely preferred over Dragushin. Rutter brace. If Rutter gets a brace, I mean, I'll give 5 channel memberships in the next stream, and hold me to it. Is Sarr nailed for Tottenham? I don't see a world in which he doesn't start this game versus City. Any Chelsea team news? On that note, let's do a little scroll. I need some tissue. FPL app and site down? Surely not. Oh my god. Is it? Or am I... Oh, I was just tweaking. I thought it was actually down for a sec. Imagine. Imagine the chaos. Why Palmer cap? I prefer him this week with West Ham. That's it. Not much to it. Fudus. Is Fernandez a captain option? I guess. Gakpo or Semenyo? This week, Semenyo in general? Probably Semenyo. One I didn't look at, and I forgot how good he was last season. Bench Kudus and Johnson or Tosin and Bowen. How are you in that dilemma? That is odd. I'd bench Johnson. I don't know how to answer that question. I'm confused. Due for Esteve. Okay, get your teams locked in. 15 minutes until the deadline. We're almost there. By the way, another amazing stream. Thank you for all you who've joined us so far. 8k subs was hitting this stream. A lot of donations. A few memberships. Do me a favour. Just get the likes over 100 and it's been a phenomenal stream. When you fools gonna realise never to buy shitty Man United players. They never deliver. Do let me know if there's any United fans in chat. To talk back to Tiny Fungus. Interestingly enough, Jas Hoffman says, would you put Kuna or Mbeumo in your free hit team? So that was immaculate timing. Would you do an NDI to Rutter? No, I wouldn't be bringing in Rutter. Yeah, if Palmer blanks this week, a lot will be getting rid. I will hold tight on Palmer though, personally. What are Chelsea's fixtures like? Next week they play Fulham at home, which is another good fixture for Palmer. United fan here. We're shit, but Bruno has always scored points. Fair point, T-Man. I love that. Big up Spacine. Thank you for modding the chat again. I gag every time you say Tiny Fungus. Yeah, it's a great name. Alright, let's see what people are doing. It's interesting to see the amount of free hits. I would love a Kudus goal this week. Would love it. Is Tielemans out for Reinders worth it? No. Not yet, anyway. We need to see a bit more from Reinders. Good assets with no Europe. Yeah, I agree, Sean. No Europe is a big deal. United might actually finish the top half of the table. Sorry, United fans. Apologies. I know I can't be saying much. But any chance I get, I will dig. Omar says, I still don't understand why you're still holding on to Bruno. I remember last season you got him for the first few game weeks and he gave us only yellow cards and red cards. Still doing the same thing this year. Well, I mean, Omar, he was very close to DEFCON. 1 away from DEFCON last game. 5 chances created, might I add again. Decent fixture this week and also next week. And in game week 7. Not bad. Start Nico, Dubravka, Tosin, Sells. I don't know what the question is there. Okay, let me go back to Twitter. I don't want to miss that. One player I'm jealous of is Morgan Rogers. I think he could do quite well this week with Brentford being poor. Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that at Arsenal. Dorgu or Anderson? Anderson. Spurs will play 5 at the back. West Ham also play 5 at the back. Okay. That is not a valid argument. And the reason for that is, first off, West Ham are cat. I mean, I don't think you can disagree with that. If you're a West Ham fan or not, you would agree. The 5 defenders for Spurs are by far clear of West Ham. I don't think that's a debate. Spence is really good one-on-one. Porro, okay, small bit underwhelming. Danso, Van de Ven, Romero. When they're fit, they're good. Thomas Frank, notoriously known for setting up well versus the big 6. There's enough there for me. Again, let me know what you think of that though. Franok says Haaland or Gyökeres as captain. I'd go Gyök. Welcome Lo Zai Hao to the stream. Sir Bowen or Wood? I mean, I'd hold on to Bowen if I owned him. Would you captain Saka if you owned him? Yes, I would. Palmer hasn't scored an open play since January away from home. Not done enough for the armband. Yeah, no, that's fair, Matthew. But again, if he scores a penalty and gets a jammy 3 points, I don't really mind. Sweet. By the way, what do you think about the new C noise? It's back. Are we happy with it? Or should we get rid? Is it disturbing to the chat and not very fitting? Start Esteve or Fulkrug, always the attacker in my eyes. Yeah, City at home. I'm not saying Haaland is a better captaincy than Palmer. I'm saying I fancy Palmer more than Haaland. There's definitely an argument to go for Haaland. And if you're going for him, I'm not saying you're wrong. That's just a good thing to know. Haaland is an excellent option this week. Again, I own him for a reason. But I was just thinking this current week is where I sit. Hey, should I start Malin or Porro? Porro. Fernandez to Saka. If you can do it. George using the channel member emotes. Good to see a bit of use. I should actually upgrade them. I should make them green arrows, red arrows. And you can be a bit more interactive. Salah, Saka, or Palmer captain. If I had Saka, it would be Saka. FPL and X says so. Alright, on that note, since everyone's saying C, choose one. Ronaldo. Okay, Pinaldo or Pessi? Who you got? Who's the GOAT? I want to know where my chat stands. I know my moderator George and channel member Tiny Fungus sit on Pinaldo. Welcome Jonathan, thank you for subscribing. Maximilian says, after the Eze hijack I lost any hope for Spurs, therefore benching Porro and relegation fodder Esteve. No, that's really fair. Am I making any changes before the deadline? Absolutely not. Watkins to Gyök? No, not for me. Surely Burnley have more chance of a cleanie than Forest? I wouldn't say so because Crystal Palace could be leggy. Which team do you support? Tottenham. Choose 3 between Porro, Renildo, Nico, Tosin, Van de Ven. Porro, Nico, Tosin. Start Verts or Dewsbury Hall? Verts, without a doubt. Messi, easy to go. No debate. Agreed. Is this still a debate? No, downtown, it's not. But some people do, as you can see, the poll is closer than you might want it to be. Which is unfortunate. It is not a debate in my eyes though. Are you making any moves? No. 6 minutes until the deadline. Saying Ronaldo better in big 2025. You know what I mean? Like, that's brilliant. Esteve or Anderson? Esteve? It's close though. That is a coin flip. Troy, as a Spurs fan, what do you think of Solanke to Richarlison next week? No, I think Richarlison will be around for a bit longer. Am I hitting up the pub? No. Ronaldo, no doubt. Not even a question. Pele and Maradona approved, so we don't care. That's brilliant. That's cute. Alright, let me quickly scroll on Twitter. I don't want to miss anything again. Agree, Yusuf. I couldn't have said it better myself. How do you feel about Eze? Gutted. I'm not going to lie to you. There's no better way to say it other than gutted. Chance of Haaland scoring. Very likely. Chance of Haaland hauling. Not so likely in my eyes. Gabriel, Saliba or Schär long term? I mean, it gotta be Saliba if you can push the funds. If R9 didn't get an injury, he'd be the GOAT. There's a lot of players who, if they didn't get an injury, they'd be the GOAT, in fairness. But yeah, fair point. R9 definitely ridiculous. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him, but I've seen a lot. Captain Salah or Semenyo? Salah, I guess. Any Delap owners? Oh, here is the conspiracy theories. I'm in the stock room at the board pier. Oh no, this is just. I'm not even gonna try fearmonger. 200 people in there. Let me know if we've hit the 100 threshold for likes. And if you aren't already, hit the subscribe button. We just hit 8k, which is phenomenal. Captain Gyökeres, sure. I definitely like it if I had Arsenal asset. I take Ronaldo in 99% situations. I only take Messi if I want FIFA president to have me a rigged World Cup. Oh Lord. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, chat, what do you think of that take from Tiny Fungus? Bench Reinders or Adingra, said Fruit Plug. Adingra. Sells or Dubravka? Sells. I wouldn't wildcard Brandon. I'd try hold off for you, my man. Try your absolute worst to hold off. Dorgu or Paro? Dorgu. Is Watkins a good captaincy shout? He's definitely not a bad one. $142 likes, amazing, lads. Let's see if we can get to the 150. Oh, what am I after creating here? Gakpo or Kudus? Gakpo. Great to see you again, Red Devil. Thank you for joining us. Why is there so much Plymouth Argyle stuff on your timeline? Because someone I went to school with actually plays for Plymouth now. And he's doing well, so I was stalking Plymouth. Time to lock in? I am locked in. I have nothing to change. I'm happy to go with what I'm on. No changes for captaincy or vice captaincy for me. And no transfers. Good to see the Pinaldo and Pessi poll quite tight. Interestingly enough, Pinaldo winning it. Ain't Nori or Minoz, pick one. Long term, probably Minoz. Ain't Nori right now though. Chai quick, says Johnny. Van Dijk or Murillo? You have to be starting both of them. Richards or Murillo? Murillo. How are people in these dilemmas? What's his name, says Franok. His name is Ono Saini. Let me know if he's any good. We went to the same school, which is just funny, like, it's good. And we were friends for a small bit of time. Stop the count. 1 minute till the deadline. Best of luck, everyone. Try you not worried about Palmer? No. And you cannot put fear into me at this point. I'm going with Palmer. I've been on him since the week started. No doubt, regardless of Haaland last season. Thank you for everyone who supported the channel for us being on the road to 8K. Or if this is your first stream, welcome to the channel. A lot more to come from us. And thank you to all the members who joined us this month. I appreciate you all. Maybe we'll do a quick little shout out if I can get to that page in time. But yeah, another amazing stream, and it's been enjoyable. Let's see if I can pull up the members real quick. Just shout them out. We got Omar, Tiny Fungus, Kith, Hurricane, Maximilian, and Vasa. We've also got Tiny Fungus and George, who became members this stream. So, as usual, lads, thank you for supporting me for another stream. I hope I helped with any of your dilemmas. Hopefully we see another big green arrow going into this week. All eyes on Captaincy, that'll be the main thing. And as usual, lads, I will see you in the next.